We're standing in front of Tint 360, a tent business, and we're about to interview the owner, Ryan, and talk to him about how he went from $0 in revenue to almost $200,000 a month in revenue with that company right there behind us. And we're gonna do a full business tour, breaking down all of the struggles to how he got to where he's at, from how he finds his employees, how he built a great culture, and all of the services that they offer, how much money they make, the profit margins that they have, literally everything you need to know. And all you have to do is stay to the end of the video. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So Ryan, talk to me about where you got the idea to start Tint 360.
So as a young kid, I was always with my grandfather, who was a businessman. Like, I used to go to roofing jobs with him. He owned a general contracting company back in Pennsylvania. So we used to go into these jobs and he'd walk out with like $7,000 cash. And I'm like, you can only do that if you own a business. So I started putting all this stuff together, and I fell in love with being in business, and cars was always my thing. Remember when I was 5, 6, 7 years old at this time, you know, but I fell in love with cars at a young age and always knew that I wanted to do something with cars, but not fixing them. Like, I want my hands to stay clean. I don't like dirty, you know, but I always was known as driving the clean car.
So when did you decide you were going to get into tint and wraps and all that kind of stuff?
It was by mistake.
Really?
Honestly, yeah. I had a detailing business back in Pennsylvania. I'm originally from Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Told my mom, hey, I need this truck and I need this trailer. She's like, all right, we'll do it. I'll invest it, but we got to work this all out. So I went and bought an F-150 and an enclosed trailer, built a mobile detailing rig. But remember, in Pittsburgh, it gets cold. So you're not washing a car outside in, you know, November, December, January, February, March. So there was a shop called Auto Effects that was known. They did remote starters and heated seats and stuff like that. So I approached the owner and I said, hey, I want to detail cars here. And he's like, well, we don't get any more. We don't do detailing. I said, no, I'm going to do it for you. I just want to rent that bay off of you. And so me and Ryan came up with a great deal where I rented a bay off of him, and he did window tinting right beside me. And I had always been like, hey, I can do this. I'm a quick learner. I see it one time and I got it. And so I picked up a piece of window tint and started doing it. And I had said to him one day, I said, hey, you ever want to sell this place? And he's like, no, man, you couldn't afford it. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I can get there, you know? So it just became, I just picked it up and started doing it.
You do like PPF, you do tint, you do all that now, right?
Correct, yeah.
How would you compare that to doing like detailing?
You could never get me to detail a car.
Really?
Or anybody here to detail a car. Completely different ball game. You know, detailing cars, people want their car to be clean. We specialize in automotive surface protection. Do we do a little bit of detailing? We don't clean the inside of cars. We do paint corrections, so like black car, bunch of swirl marks in it. People consider that detailing. We call it a paint correction. It's a fancier term. So we can take your oxidized, swirled, scratch paint and make your car clean and glossy, and then we protect that surface.
And I'm sure there's a lot more money in doing this as opposed to being a detailer, right?
There is. Detailing is, you know, you charge $200-300 for a car. You know, is there people that are gonna pay $1,000 to get their car clean? Yes, but this industry, and what we do, surface protection, is, you know, if someone wanted to get into the automotive industry, this is what I would tell them to do. So
talk to me a little bit about what they're doing right here behind us. It looks like you're dodoing PPF, correct me if I'm wrong?
Correct. So this is paint protection film. Paint protection film is just a clear polyurethane plastic. It's self-healing. So it's got ceramic coating in it. It's always snaps back to its original shape. But yeah, so we did full body paint protection film on this car. It'll protect it from rock chips, swirl marks, scratches, can protect from like little door dings and stuff like that. But yeah, it'll keep the car. This thing was brand new. The guy custom ordered it this way. It'll keep the car. It's the best protection you can get for the car.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
And do you do like a full body typically, or you just do the front half of the car? What's like the most popular thing that you do?
Yeah, so great question. So paint protection film, most people don't know this. This is pretty cool. That paint protection film was designed to protect the blade tips of helicopters.
Really?
So they used to take a little strip of it. They used to protect the blades back in like Desert Storm and stuff like that, where the blades were getting all sandblasted. And so back in the day, in the early 2000s, maybe even like in the 90s, I was still pretty young, but they started putting it on like bumpers, and that was it. And then they started doing like partial fronts and full fronts. Now today, we're doing full vehicles.
Wow.
So we can do it on any surface as long as it's smooth. It gotta be smooth. It can have curves and edges and stuff, but as long as it's a smooth surface, we can put the film on there. But our most popular is a full frontal.
The full frontal?
Yeah, the full frontal.
For rocks and rock chips.
Especially here in Arizona.
How do you figure out what you're gonna charge somebody?
Yeah, so that's a great question. We get that a lot. Obviously, some cars are harder than others. Like we get people that call all the time with like a Lamborghini STO, right? Or like a Lamborghini Urus. And a lot of people think, oh, well, you're just gonna charge me more because it's a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
No, that's not the case. What it is the more aerodynamics the cars are, the vehicle is, the harder it is to do. You got vents and you got pockets and you got scoops on the hood and you got all these different things. It's by vehicle, and yes, you're paying for the product. Like this uses one whole roll of PPF, 60 by 50, 250 square feet.
Yep. Trucks
use a lot more. So obviously trucks cost more, but ultimately when you call an automotive surface protection company, what are you paying for? Craftsmanship.
Right.
This is not something that you just learn overnight. This is years and years of failure, mistakes. I remember days I've slept on my garage floor because I couldn't figure something out. You're paying for the craftsmanship, the art. This is an art.
Just out of curiosity, what's that customer right there gonna pay you, roughly?
Yeah, so this package on this car, full body PPF, we took the spoiler off. We review the vehicles with people and tell them how we can do things. This guy's paying $7,500 for this whole thing. Now he's also doing some ceramic coating on the wheels and stuff, but his total package, his package is $7,500 bucks.
How long will it take to complete that entire work for him?
So
from start to finish?
Today is 1 week that the car's been here.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure this is the last panel that we have to lay. Like you see some film hanging off the mirrors. We just let it dry out. He's picking up tomorrow afternoon.
Wow, so quite a while.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, you know, a whole week.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like you just have it done overnight.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now we can complete some stuff in a day, you know, like some paint protection film packages and stuff we can complete pretty quick, but I should say efficient. You know, we have a great team here, but stuff like this, you're much longer.
Wow, very interesting. Yeah, no, I mean, I would have never guessed that it would take an entire week to do all of that.
Yeah, it's a lot of pieces. The new Corvettes, the new C8, the full front paint protection film package. It has a little part underneath here. There's like 18 pieces of little pieces of film.
Wow.
So each vehicle's different in its own unique way.
What is the most difficult car you've ever done?
Oh my goodness, I would say, me personally, or like us as a company?
Your company, yeah.
Oh, so we did just about maybe a little bit over a year ago, we did a 488 Spider. The rear fenders gave Tyler a run for his money. You know, each vehicle's different. Teslas are clockwork. We touched over 200 Teslas last month. So Teslas are easy. Trucks, the new trucks are tough. Like the new 2500 Chevys, the hood has a hood scoop. It's got pockets in the hood. It's a bit tricky.
So I couldn't help to notice as we were walking over here, you've got a bucket of water with steam coming out of it.
Yeah.
What am I looking at here?
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes these windows are all steamed up. This is just your basic outdoor patio water cooler, right? And then we put 2 sous vides in it. I think that's how you say it. And we heat the water up. When you're putting paint protection film on, you're using soap. So Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo, so we can slide the film around. Well, when you want it to stick or you need to form it, this water is about 150 degrees, right? So 150.5 degrees, it makes the film stick. So this is what we call our tack solution. Most shops, most people that do this use water with alcohol in it. We have found that alcohol dries the water out too quick, and if you ever have to lift it, it leaves what we call a lift line that never goes away.
So you talked a little while ago about the average across the board for like a window tint being like right around $1,000, right? What is your average profit margin on something like that?
Yeah, so being in a retail center like this, our overhead is pretty high. Every person you see here is a W-2 employee. You know, payroll expenses are high, you know, but our net income usually is about 15.6%. So we're keeping about 15.6 cents of every dollar spent with us. So, you know, we pretty well. Pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, window tint profit margins and paint protection film, they're pretty high.
Are they?
Especially when you have the right equipment where you can get the most yield out of the roll of film.
Sure.
When you buy it.
What is the highest profit margin service that you offer?
Window tint.
Window tint.
Window tint,
yeah.
yes, because it's when you master it and you get efficient at it, you know, like to tint this full vehicle, sides, rear windshield and everything it's like $1,200. We can have that done in 2 hours.
Sure, so you can do 5
so you
in a
have
day.
probably $150 in film, a couple $100 in labor.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many cars have you done in one day? Like, what's the most cars you've ever done in a day?
Great question. We're not a production facility. We only do 4 a day.
Okay.
Yeah, so we only touch 4 window tint jobs a day. You got shops that might do 20 a day, you know what I mean, at $200, where we're more of a higher end shop.
Yeah.
We offer very superior products, great warranties, great installs. So our prices are a little bit higher, you know, so.
What is the biggest gross revenue month you've ever had?
Man, I was so upset about this. Yeah. So we always have strived for 200. Yeah. 200, 200, 200, which is not known in this industry. We came short 198,000.
There you go.
Was our largest.
It's still a phenomenal month.
Yeah, oh, for sure. You know, it's a big number. You know, I never would have, you know, there's people watching this that laugh at that number. But they were at that number at one time. Now they laugh at it. You know, and I don't say laugh to be insulted. I say laugh because the memories start to flash back, right? So like, you know, we consult with people that do 30 or 40 and they're super excited about it. I was always taught to think much bigger. My ultimate goal that I want to do a month is $500,000. I know that we could do it. You
totally could do it.
Not out of one facility.
Yeah.
You know, we are very close to signing a lease on another location in the West Valley. And I know when we have 2, well, 250 times 2 is 500.
500.
So
yeah.
And
4 makes $1 million.
Yes, correct. That's what we're shooting for. Yeah.
So while we're on that topic, real quick, I have to ask, what is the #1 way that customers figure out about you? Like, how do they find it? How do they hear about you?
Yeah, so we're huge on marketing. We're a marketing company, right? Google, social media, everywhere. Our website's very unique. You can actually buy your package right on our website. You can schedule online. And if you can't figure any of that out or don't want to do that, you just call. We are one of those companies, we answer the phone. If we don't, because we're with somebody, you leave a voicemail, my role is within 3 minutes, you get a call back.
I hope you're enjoying the business tour so far. Really quick, if you wouldn't mind, if you know of a business that you think would be a really cool tour, or if you own a business that you would like to get featured, all you have to do is text 480-418-5339, the word business, okay? Again, 480-418-5339, the word business, and we'll see if you qualify or if the business qualifies for us to go ahead and tour it. Now let's just go ahead and get back to the tour. So talk to me about your initial investment. I mean, I can't imagine it was a whole lot.
No. So whenever we had first started, when we moved from Pennsylvania, I brought all the film from my shop. Jenna and I weren't moving here to do window tint. We were moving here to get into financial services, but quickly learned that that wasn't something we wanted to do. So I brought the window tint and I said, well, if we buy cars or when we do, or family and friends, I'll tint their cars for them. So we started with just film that I had. You know, we started with basically zero because I brought all my stuff with us. But if you were to open up this business today, obviously a building like this you're going to grow into. Real estate prices are pretty high, price per square foot. A good $10,000 will get you going. We started doing mobile tinting. I would go to people. If they had their garage, we had to go in their garage. We would tint the car in there. Saved up the money and was able to get our first location at 27th Street, Deer Valley. And then we outgrew that building the month we moved in.
Really?
Yeah, we outgrew it. It was only 2,000 square feet. No AC. It was only swamp coolers, just pure humidity. And then when COVID came around, people were closing their businesses. And I'm like looking for opportunity. This was a CrossFit gym. And the guy had to get out of it because couldn't have people come in. So our realtor found it and we took over some of the lease and here we are today.
That's awesome. So if somebody was getting started, would you recommend them doing the mobile tint? Yeah.
In Arizona, yeah, hey, you got to start somewhere, right? You got to crawl before you walk, right? So I would start doing mobile. You don't need to go borrow money. I don't believe in borrowing money to open up a business. There's opportunity everywhere. Go make the money, reinvest it, right? So start out mobile, save up the money, grow yourself into getting a facility. You know, mobile tinting, we get people that call all the time. Will you come to me and do it? No, it's not the recommended way of any manufacturer to install window tint. Like I used to ask people, would you get surgery in your garage? A little drastic, right? But it's the truth.
I mean, you have all your tools here, your guys are here, everybody knows what they're doing, it's air conditioned. I mean, you know, it's just like...
Well, it's not only that, there's, you know, what you can't see on the roof is there's a $20,000 piece of equipment. It's an air cleaner. So it cleans the air before it spits it back out. You don't get dust in the air, dirt, particles flying. You know, we're laying a piece of paint protection film on the hood. Right before we lay it, spray it with water. So if a piece of dust falls, now it's in the middle of the hood. So it's you have to have a controlled environment. But to start, hey, mobile tinting, perfect way to start. I would recommend it.
Somebody starting out right now, they're watching the video, they could focus on one thing to get marketing out, to get the word out. What would it be?
Marketing and getting the word out? Social media.
Social media.
Oh my goodness, social media. Yeah, I mean, you could reach abundance.
Favorite platform?
I'm not a social media person. For me, I would Facebook. I grew our marketing consulting. I have several clients. I have spent $0 on marketing.
So you guys are wrapping a bumper? What are you doing here?
Yeah, so somebody wrapped this. It was at a body shop, got in a little accident. But yeah, we're rewrapping a bumper for him. It was black, going to white. This is satin white. Yeah, so we can change the color of your car.
Yeah.
So 95% of our work is what we refer to as retail. A lot of people in our industry work with dealerships. We don't. We don't do any dealership work. They want to pay a low amount, be able to charge whatever they can. We don't do that. This customer went to another shop, had their vehicle wrapped. I think we actually quoted this for the guy. He didn't want to pay our price, so he went somewhere else. Unfortunately, his wife got into an accident, rear-ended somebody, hit somebody, and then the body shop down here, we have a great relationship. Relationships build business, you know that very well. So they ended up coming back to us. We had to rewrap the front bumper, the front fender, and one of the doors.
Got it.
Yeah.
So relationships build businesses. I mean, that is like the #1 takeaway I'm getting right now. What's the #1 recommendation for somebody watching to get out there and build relationships? One thing they can do.
The more hands you shake, the more money you make, right?
There you go.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. You got to shake hands. And I was saying earlier, people do business with people. People don't do business with businesses. And if you can master that and figure that out, your business will thrive.
Talk to me really quick about scaling. You know, I know that you mentioned to me a little while ago off camera that you're looking at, you know, getting a new building out on the West Valley, and that you have a very unique kind of idea where you want to kind of hook some of your employees up in the future too. Do you mind talking about that at all?
Yeah, so Tint 360 is not a film to glass company. It's not a PPF to paint company. Ceramic coating, wraps, that's what we do. Our ultimate goal is we build people. We are a people building business. And what I mean by that is anybody can go get a job. I learned this thing one time and I don't remember who told me, but anything that ends in EE is owned by somebody else. Employee, leasee, mentee, see? I don't own anybody. These guys are free to do what they want. I'm their leader, I'm not their boss. Well, I don't want people to come work for us that just want to install film. I don't want that. I want more for you. My ultimate goal in life, one of my personal, professional, and financial goals, is to help 8,000 people win. That's one of my goals. So how do you do that as a company? It's hard, right? You got to figure something out.
Show people what you're doing.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we bring people in, we train them in what we do, but my ultimate goal for you is to make you something bigger.
Sure.
So my belief is to get the ultimate freedom and to reach your personal, professional, and financial goals, you have to own something. So our team, we train every week on business ownership. I open up our books to our team. I have nothing to hide, nothing, because I want them to gain the experience of being a business owner.
Sure.
So when we open up other locations, I'm gonna say, here's your location, you own 20% of this, we own 80%, but you don't have to go through the growing pains that I went through. and all the failures that we went through. I have it all documented. Here you go. Let's do this thing.
Sure.
I don't want to just sell a franchise to somebody that just thinks they know the automotive industry. I want to build people. I want to build winners. It's a completely different environment whenever everybody at your table is winning, right? So that's how we're building a culture. That's how we're going to scale. I mentioned earlier, I know we need people. Jenna and I can't do this alone. It's impossible. We need people that are better than us. So the people that you see, they will all own part of the business.
It's truly incredible, by the way. I mean, literally nobody, and I've done a lot of interviews, I've talked to a lot of people, I have a podcast, as you know. You know, we've had a lot of business tours on the channel, and I mean, I don't think anybody that I know is doing what you're doing. And being that forthcoming, you know, and I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of people just have a scarcity mindset. You've got a lot of entrepreneurs that think that if they give away their secret, that they'll be out of business, and it's just not the truth anymore.
Listen, I didn't come this far overnight. Neither did you. It took me 15 years to master this, but you need people.
You do.
You know, you gotta have people that are smarter than you. I believe in leadership. I wouldn't be where I was at today without leadership. You know, you need people to hold you accountable, and that's what we do here.
I love that so much. So while we're on that topic, really quick, I guess, what is your average revenue per employee?
Yeah, so right now ours is about 360,000. A lot of people, when you talk revenue per employee, don't really know what that is.
Most people don't.
I actually learned that from Brandon Dawson. And when I tell people that, they're like, what does that mean? Well, how do you hire people? How do you fire people? How do you know when you got to raise your prices? Well, revenue per employee.
Sure. How do you find good employees who know what they're doing? I mean,
so we have a great team, and the reason and the way that we have found them, like Heather here, she took a class online, the Tint School online, and she had found one of our ads. She was working for Amazon and got quickly sick of that and just wanted to go into this industry. That right there, that can't do it. Can't do it. I can't do it.
And that's the only way, if anybody's watching, you know, to be an entrepreneur, right? I'm an entrepreneur myself. Like, we cannot do it alone. And the quicker we learn how to delegate and get somebody else to do it, arguably better than we can, that's the only way you can truly scale any organization. So talk to me about the process of tinting. I know that we have a piece of tint right here. What is this called?
So this is a peel board. So after we pull the film off the plotter, it cuts out the windows, vehicle specific, year, make, and model.
The plotter does all that?
Yeah, it will cut out the windows, and then we bring them up here. So the reason we use a peel board is it's clean, and when we spray the water, it's keeping it away from the vehicle, because you apply this with water and soap in it, and so it just keeps it away from the vehicle and keeps it clean.
Got it, okay. And does somebody need a plotter if they're getting into, you know, window tint? Like, is that a necessary thing, or is it just like
that's
kind
a great
of
question.
a luxury?
Yeah, great question. I thought I would never own one. I was known as the hand cutter. Like, I could cut out any window. But the problem with that is two things. One, you can cut people's cars. Two, you waste a lot more product because you're pulling a full piece of film out, cutting it, throwing the rest on the ground, then it's no good. Do you need it? No. Does it make your job easier and make you more efficient? Yes.
Got it.
So I believe now we would be dead without it. We would be in trouble.
What can you get a plotter for?
Just like with anything, you can buy one for $1,000, you can buy one for $10,000. We have the GraphTech FC 9000, which is like the top dog.
And what did that one run?
Just shy of 10 grand. Cool. But we've made our money back times 1,000.
I mean, you probably make your money back in a week.
Yeah, you truly do. Yeah, because it does. So they're made to cut out vinyl, which I'm sure we'll go in there and talk about a little bit. But they're made to cut out vinyl, but it will also do window tint, paint protection film. We just did stripes on a Mercedes yesterday, so we cut the stripes out on it. They're amazing machines. But for window tint and the way that new vehicles are, you know, you got all these sensors on windshields. You have the rear defrosters. You have the rubber seals. You don't want to start causing damage to that stuff, you're in trouble.
If you're not careful.
Yes.
When you are tinting a car, this is probably a dumb question, but you know, do you have to remove like the door panels and everything? Like how do you tint a window in 2023? You know?
So a lot of vehicles we do. You ever been riding down the road and you see someone had a window tint on their car
and it's peeling up?
Yeah. So what happens is the seal on the inside of the door, what they do is they tuck the film right along there. So every time you're rolling that window up and down, that film is hitting off that seal. So over time it starts to peel it. We believe in removing the panels and seals because then we can go underneath it. We strive for longevity. We tell people, once you have your vehicle tinted, you shouldn't have to do it again. Our film comes with a lifetime warranty. Our labor comes with a lifetime warranty. We like to do things with longevity.
Sure.
Now, are there vehicles that you shouldn't remove the door panels on? Yes.
Like the Escalade.
Like the Escalade.
Yeah.
$2,500 for a door panel.
Just too much of a pain, not worth it.
It's the risk is way too high, you know? So if you damage, you know, some of the clips on that door panel, or it can't go back on and you start having issues with it, the risk is too high. But our team has the experience that with our plotter, we're able to extend patterns to be able to do what I was just talking about, tucking the film.
You tinted, you said 200 Teslas in 1 month?
Yeah. Yeah.
First of all, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
How easy are the Teslas to tint? They must be fairly easy.
So we work with efficiency, and I can tell you that there's 2 people here, Brendan and I think it was Heather, that tinted a Model 3 in less than an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. Now even like Sean and everybody, like usually Teslas, it's the Model Y, one of the easiest cars to tint.
Sure.
Because we've done it so much. It's not just an easy car. I don't want to give a misconception that it's just, you know, an easy car to tint. It's because we do so many of them.
Yeah.
You don't have to pull. They're open frame windows, so they don't have the frame around it. Like your Tesla has open frame windows. So it's much easier to do. So you don't have to pull the door panel. We do Bentleys, we get Lamborghinis, we get Ferraris, we get Porsche. Like the Porsche Panamera is, you don't touch the door panel. Like it's just one of those cars.
Sure.
So they're all different.
What is the most popular like style of tint that you do, if that's a valid question? And then also the like what do they call it? The percentage.
Yeah. So great question. So there's 4 different kinds of film. You have we'll call it 3. You have dyed window film, which you've seen it turn purple. Purple window tint is no good. That's the dye has ran out of the film, right? The piece of film is purple. They put black dye in it. Okay. Then you have metallic. Metallic, on a lot of the new cars nowadays, you can't use it because of all the sensors. It actually has metal in it that gives it its shade. So the thicker the metal, the darker the film. Then you have ceramic film. That's all we offer here at Tint 360. So when people call us like, hey, how much is it to tint my car? $100. No. Because we offer ceramic films. Ceramic reduces the most heat, glare, and UV rays. Dyed and metallic films, they perform, but not nearly as good as ceramic. For us, we don't charge for shade. So we let people choose however light or dark they want the film to be at no additional cost.
Cool.
So you have 5%. That's limo tint. Darkest you have. Very hard to see in, very hard to see out. Our most popular shade is 15%.
And obviously we're in Arizona, so if people are watching and they're in the Midwest or whatever, it's probably going to be different for them, I'd imagine, right?
Yeah, so every state has their own code against window tint. In Arizona, you have to allow it's actually like 32% of light to enter the vehicle on the 2 front windows. Back windows, you can paint them black. Every state has a different code. We have windshield tint that is legal windshield tint. So, you know, you can abide by that if you want, but here in Arizona, we tint a lot of police officers' vehicles and we ask them all the time about shade. They're like, man, it's hot, I don't care.
They don't care.
You know, they don't mess with people. You get some of the young kids that are doing street racing and stuff.
Sure, they might
get you. But you know, most people that are just driving to work and stuff like that, they get it. It's hot. In the summertime, you know, 119 degrees, we got to keep you protected. You know, UV rays and stuff like that.
Now, last question on this. What is the average cost of front windshield, rear window, and then 4 side windows? Just if you had to just average ceramic, what would the average cost be? I know every car is different, but ballpark.
Yeah, so our average window tint ticket is exactly $1,000.
$1,000.
Exactly, Now that's all windows, sides, rear, and windshield.
So we're standing here in front of the plotter. Talk to me about how you actually work. I mean, you said over there a little while ago, you can just put in the make, model, the whole thing, and it'll just cut it out exactly the way you need it?
Yeah, so we even have an app on our phones where we can scan the barcode of the vehicle and it will send it over here and we can select. So like on the screen there, if we're just doing the 2 front windows and window tint, we can just cut out the 2 fronts. But it's really neat how they do this. They actually, when they scan vehicles, this obviously has to be very precise. When these companies scan the vehicles, they spray shaving cream on them. And then they scan it with this, it's like a beach ball, but it's a bunch of lasers. And then they come up with the patterns, and that's how we produce the film for it. Yeah.
Is there any cars that aren't scanned into the system that you've like tried plugging in and you can't find it?
Yeah, so it's a pain in the butt when new cars come out, especially like new submodels, because if they're not done yet and we go to pull it up, it's like, oh, we don't have it. So we either have to hand cut it or bulk it or do whatever. But like classic cars, not in there.
Really?
Like you 69 Camaro, you're hand cutting the car.
Wow.
You know, that's why you have to know both. You know, I know shops that their Wi-Fi goes down and none of their guys know how to hand cut. They got to cancel all their jobs for the day. That's why you have to have people on your team that know how to hand cut. But yeah, these machines are phenomenal.
Lifesaver, for sure.
But efficiency.
Yeah.
Being in business is all about efficiency. And you know, it's not about working fast, it's about being efficient.
Yeah.
And this is efficiency.
Super efficient. Yeah, but make sure you know how to hand cut if you're going to start in the tinting world, because
you
don't want to rely on that either.
You got to know how to hand cut. If you don't, you are in trouble.
So I just asked you what I thought was a silly question, but I was watching him put the tint on the exterior of the windshield. So does the tint go on the inside or on the outside of the car?
So it goes on the inside. When we install it, we put on the inside. It's installed with water. But windows on vehicles are not flat, so we have to shrink the film. So window film has polyester in it. It allows us to shrink it and mold it. Then we take it off of there, put it on the peel board that we went over, and then we transfer it to the inside.
Wow.
So we prep it on the outside, but it's actually installed on the inside.
Got it. Okay, because I was watching, they kind of cut it out a little bit, and he's putting it on there. So you said a minute ago there's actually soap in between that right now, right, in the windshield?
Yeah, so to prevent the film from sticking, we take a bar of Dove soap and wrap it in a towel, and then we spray it with water and we scrub the window with it. It creates a barrier that doesn't cause any damage to prevent the film from sticking to the glass.
Got it.
Because if you just put the film on the glass, the static electricity, it just messes with the film.
And you wouldn't want to use the heat gun on the inside of the car because you'd mess up the car.
Yeah, you'd start melting stuff. Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Have you ever seen people try to do that?
I have. Yeah, I actually know somebody that replaced the dashboard in the vehicle because they had, see, we call these fingers. That thing that's shooting up there, we call it a finger.
Sure.
If it shoots up on the inside of the car, people try and take a heat gun. Well, if you melt a dashboard, that's not good. I know somebody that did that.
Yeah. Are you limited by the square footage today of the building that you have, like you today?
Yes. So we have this, and then we have more down there.
Okay.
We have offices and stuff down there. So this is 4,500 square feet. We have another 2,000 down there. It's like 1,900. We need 10. We need 10,000 square feet. We're capped out where we're at here right now. Like, we are so busy, but we squeeze cars in, we get them done.
You probably couldn't fit another car in here right now, could you?
No. I mean, we could, but it would be kind of tight.
Sure.
And that's the thing with this industry. You have to be able to get all the way around the vehicle. You know, that was the one reason you have to have a lift like this. Like, this is a car storage lift. The reason we did that is because we get so busy, we can put a car up in the air and put a car underneath it. So we're gonna put another one on the other side. It just hasn't come in yet.
Thank you so much for watching the video with Ryan. I greatly appreciate it. Definitely go check him out. All of his information will be down in the description below. I'm also standing in a business of my own right now, and if you haven't checked out any of my other content, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, like the video, definitely go check out some of my other content. It would mean the world to me, and we'll go ahead and see you in the next video.